So now, before I let you go, I'm going to give each of you 1 minute for some final thoughts. What do you want to leave everyone with before you go? And Judge McCaffery, since you ended, I'm going to let you start this time. Oh, I should have gave him the mic.
There you go. You're on. You're on.
Is this on? All right, don't start the clock yet. All right. The only thing I want to leave you with is what I just said to you beforehand, because it's critically important for people to understand that. These particular courts mean something to everybody. As Jill just mentioned, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's the final arbiter. We're the policy court. We are the court is going to decide and defend these rights. It is critically important that we elect justices who will protect and defend your constitutional rights. And I don't mean just a piece of paper. I mean the rights that we Democrats have fought for 60 years. Again, women's reproductive rights. You would think about that. That's literally been rolled back and rolled into the state court. The Dobbs decision that came out last year came out as a result of court packing. We need to do the same thing, because in Pennsylvania we fight back, and the reason we fight back, the way we fight back, is by electing people who share our values to these courts. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for rallying for our rights, because that's what's important. That's what the courts are all about.
Courts are all about. Thank you, Judge McCaffery. Jill Beck?
I will just tell you that you have an incredible slate of candidates on your statewide bench. You have Dan McCaffery for Supreme Court, Tamika Lane and Jill Beck for Superior Court, Matt Wolf for Commonwealth Court. And I will tell you, Tamika Lane and I are the only two candidates running for Superior Court that are highly recommended by the Pennsylvania Bar Association. And that's kind of a big deal. It's a big undertaking. It's a lot of work to do. And one of the Republican candidates is not recommended. One of them is only recommended. You want someone who's going to go up there, do the job, review the law, apply it as written, and interpret it as written. It's pretty simple. Our legislature does a phenomenal job writing the rules. We interpret and apply them. That is how we do. Well, we try. We try. And when they don't do a phenomenal job, we fix it. But that's what we do. We do not rewrite. We do not restate. We do not redo. We are not judicial activists. We interpret and apply, and that is what you want out of a judge, and that is what we want to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jill. And the anchor of the forum, Patrick Sweeney, what do you have to say?
Thank you, Bethany. We've had a lot to think about just in recent days with our former president being indicted for the 4th time. I don't know what, he was thrice indicted until a couple of days ago. I don't know what the word is for 4 times, but he's presumed to be innocent, as are all of my clients until they are convicted. But even as a guy who's a millionaire, who has the resources to defend himself, he is taking to the airwaves and whatever his Twitter alternative is, and going to rallies, and what he's doing is trying to undermine people's faith in our justice system. And at the trial level, this is the fact-finding level. This is the area that people have the most contact with. And why in a society like ours, a democracy, a democratic republic with independent courts, people need to rely on the fact that they are going to be treated fairly when they come to court, because when they leave there, we want them to accept the decisions that are made and understand that, hey, I presented my evidence, it was heard by someone who was fair and impartial, and maybe I didn't win. And maybe there's an opportunity to take it to a higher court and have it reviewed. But in the end, there is a final word. And we as citizens of a republic like this need to understand that when you are treated fairly, you accept that verdict, whether it be a verdict of a jury or a ruling from a higher court. And Donald Trump is doing what he can to undermine that. And I see it sometimes as a public defender. I have cases that I have won because people refuse to come to court and testify against somebody, even in shootings, even in homicides. And I hear heartbreaking things like, we're going to settle this on the street. And that is exactly the wrong approach that anyone should take. There should not be people taking the law into their own hands, quite literally, reprisals of that nature. We need the courts to be the arbiters of our disputes and to resolve our disputes in a nonviolent way where everyone understands they're treated fairly. And Donald Trump will be treated fairly. I can guarantee you that. And I think all of us if we encounter our courts, especially, I'll endeavor to do the best I can if I am fortunate to win, to treat people fairly, and people, even if they disagree, have the opportunity to see, hopefully, Judge Beck and Justice McCaffery to have that hearing. But what is the most important about this election is that we elect people that are dedicated to equal justice, regardless of party, regardless of race and creed and gender and anything that might divide us. We are to be united in respect for equal justice under law. So I thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I think we can all agree Donald Trump's a jagoff, right? All right. Thank you all so much. Feel free to have a seat and enjoy the rest of the program. You're welcome. Let's give it up one more time for our Democratic slate of judicial candidates. Woo woo!